Welcome, everyone, to our session on how to emerge triumphant in the face of this worldwide pandemic. Okay, my name is Charlene, your host for today, and I'm speaking to you live from Singapore. Okay, so first of all, I would like to welcome everyone who are logging in for the first time. Okay, welcome. Say, can all of us give them some virtual clap or virtual flowers, or like a smile, whatever. The thing I love about our online meeting is that there's so many emoticons to play with, right? And also, we would like to take this opportunity to also show our appreciation to everyone who are working so hard at the front line to keep our healthcare, our infrastructure operating. So shall we also send them some love over this chat? Okay, and we are also really happy to have the rest of you back again, logging in from all around the world. It's nighttime, evening time here in Singapore, but it could be daytime at your side also. But you know what? Regardless of where you are right now, and no matter what you're going through, just hang in there and stay positive because we have survived so many crises in our lifetime, right? And so this time will be no different. And this too shall pass eventually. Again, as we all know, the world is going through an unprecedented crisis that is challenging you and me in so many different ways. And it's also the first time in a very long time, that the whole world is fighting a battle on so many fronts. I mean, it's not just the healthcare front, but because of the COVID, but also, this economic tsunami that has hit us or was going to hit us anyway. Just that now it's being exacerbated by this virus. So while we cannot really control the impact of this economic tsunami to our livelihood, and really, no one can say for sure when this pandemic will be over. But the more important question we have to ask ourselves now is, how prepared are we to ride this storm out, no matter how long it lasts? No, and if we can't, are we willing to adapt to emerge not just unscathed, but triumphant from this crisis? And it's not just for ourselves, but also for our loved ones as well. So, which is why tonight's session is specially curated for everyone here. And, we are very honored to invite a millionaire mentor who has been through many different crises in his lifetime. And, like H1N1 or SARS, just to name a few. And with each crisis, he has always emerged stronger through his critical acumen and duplicable strategies. And because of these, today he has helped thousands and thousands of ordinary people like you and me from different backgrounds, from all walks of life, to achieve their financial and time freedom. The freedom to walk out of any crisis, big or small, unscathed, and even better than before. So tonight, that person can be you, but only if you allow it to happen. So all we ask is for you to open your heart and mind to his sharing. And before I invite him up online, let us watch a short video.
只有共赢才是真正赢家。
So without further ado, can we put our hands together and invite our Circle of Excellence for Mr. Rayne Ho?
Hello, can you all see me? Good evening, everyone. For those in Southeast Asia market, I think we have some from Europe and some from US and Canada. I know that some people are logging this from Canada. I think it's about morning time, right? Thank you, Charlene, for the introduction. Great introduction, right? I'm really excited to be here, right? This is the first time that I do online meeting, right? Thanks to the COVID-19, right? There's a reason why that we have the opportunity to actually see each other online, right? I never done this before in my life on for online meeting, but as you all know that with the COVID-19, right, everything is possible, right? We hear a lot of bad news, but of course, I think it's also a chance for every one of us to learn, right? So I know that online over here that we have a lot of our SD family members, right, all over the world, and also we have we have a lot of friends, right? Our friends and the new friends and new skin friends. And also, I know that there are quite a lot of our customers that are actually logging on, right? Logging on this platform and tonight, right? Shall we give them a warm round of applause for their effort, right? I know that it's a tough time, but I think every one of us are really excited about this opportunity over here, right? Well, I think for many of us, actually, we met probably physically last year, right, in year 2019, right? Even though 2020 did not start with a very good start, but I think that I still want to wish everyone Happy New Year, right? We are 3 months, right, towards almost a quarter towards the 2020. Even though it's not a good start for the first 3 quarters, but I really sincerely hope that, right, we're going to have a fantastic year going ahead. And I know, we are very grateful today also and very thankful, right? As we all know that we're not able to do our physical meetings in a lot of places, and some of the places, some of the countries actually we experience some movement control. Some countries actually to a certain extent lockdown, right? China, right? I think for some of you, you know that they all started from China way back in on the 23rd, I think if I remember correctly, in January, right? We started hearing news about whole China being locked down during the Chinese New Year, right? So this was very tough, especially for Chinese New Year. But before we know, right, and things are started to spread, right, expanded to so many of our regions and a lot of countries. And today, I think many of our Southeast Asian market, a lot of our Southeast Asian countries are also having some restricted movement. But again, I think we are able to put up this online meeting within a very short period of time, right? In fact, I was informed about 48 hours ago, right? Just within 48 hours, right? We're able to put up this meeting together, right? I really want to be, thankful for the team, the support team that we have, right? Very strong support team at the back, doing a lot of groundwork. I'm just invited speaker, right? In fact, I do not do a lot of work, but all these people that are actually helping us, to be able to really run this meeting effectively, right? I really want to, take this opportunity, right, to extend my gratitude to all these our team members, our support team members, so that we are able to reach out to every part of the world, right? There are just too many bad news today. So of course, today reason why that I'm here, right, is I want to share a little bit about myself, right? Because I get involved in business for almost like 20 years, almost 2 decades. So as the MC mentioned that I have survived through a lot of crises. Yeah, definitely, because I'm quite old already, right? I'm almost 50 years old. Yeah, so that's the reason why I think I'm actually qualified to share, right, about my experiences over the last 20 years as I built my business through the New Skin platform. and what are the things I did right over the years, and some decision making. I hope, right, through my sharing tonight can help you to have make better decision, so that in the subsequent years, right, you emerge as a winner, right, as a victor, not a victim of every crisis, right. Well, I also want to take the opportunity to be, thankful, right, to all the frontliners, right, that are helping us to, put us in a very safe place right now, right. I know that there are a lot of the frontliners actually sacrificing their time, right, and also their with the family, right, and especially at this critical time, right. In fact, it's whole nation, right. In fact, no, whole nation, the whole world, right, is kind of like getting a little bit chaotic, right, and we are unsure of the direction right now. But let me assure you, right, whatever the crisis in the past, right, for decades, for centuries, right, human being, we have the ability to create, right? And then all this crisis will go away. It's just a matter of time, right? You just said this time round because it's quite sudden and it's quite widespread, and it's prolonged. It's pretty long period of time. We thought that probably it will last, 2 or 3 months, and come summer, everything will go away, right? Probably near to March, but we didn't realize actually it spread to so many countries, and it seems that it's not stopping right now. We do not know when it will stop, right? But I think that we cannot be put into a situation whereby you realize that we become the victims, or we need to do something about it. But I'm confident for long term, right? Because we all know that human being, we have the ability to create things, right, to solve problems, right? So I know, right, this thing will go away. It's just that we don't know how many months, or would it delay for 1 year or 2 years, we do not know. But we need to get ourselves prepared. I think that's the most important. So very thankful, right, for all those people at the front end that's actually supporting us, right, so that we have, even though sometimes you're home based today, right, but we feel safe because of all these people, right, and because of this epidemic, right, this pandemic, and we all know that things are getting more chaotic right now, right, because of this crisis, we realize suddenly it makes us realize that, right, in the future, right, we are not fighting for just our university degree, right, getting more degree, or fighting for higher position in corporate, or even trying to fight to make more money, right, getting more wealth, or even getting more power, right, in your organization. But I think through this crisis, we all learned that the most important things that we need to have, right, is about the power of immunity. I think that's the most important, right? Immunity. First, of course, we talk about immunity. The first thing we talk about is our immunity to health immunity, right? Meaning that you realize that because of, as you can see that a lot of people's, got infected, right? And then somehow you realize that, in the same location, but not everyone are infected, right? But why is it that some infected and some not infected, right? Definitely you realize that sometimes we cannot stop, right, the virus. We can't even can't even know, right, which are the virus carrier. But the only one thing that we can be sure of is to have a strong immunity, right, a strong immune system, right, the health immune system, so that you realize that even though, right, we get encountered, we get virus attack, but you realize that we can recover very well. So from this crisis, I think many of us are becoming more aware about health. Right, health has become the most important, right? Not one of the most important, but in fact, you realize that it's the most important, because without health, right, we cannot have anything, right? So, and people are more aware of health, hygiene, right? I think this is good, right? And many times you realize in the past, right, we take it for granted. But this crisis also reminds us, that we need to take care of a lot of our personal hygiene and health. But again, I think on top of the health immunity, right, there's only another one important element, which is financial immunity. It's also very important. As you all know that, because of this crisis, prolonged crisis, right, and many people do not know that actually when it will end, even our government, right, and nobody knows that when it's going to end. But the challenge is, right, about our financial status, right? Are we immune, right, to the crisis in terms of our financial ability, right? If we are not able to, to have the kind of immunity or financial power, I think it's going to be very tough, right, for a lot of people, during this period of time. Well, I love to read a lot of history, right, and a lot of challenges in the past, and so that we can learn a lot of wisdom, right, from the great people, right. In fact, when this thing came about, right, the COVID-19 crisis, it reminds me of the SARS outbreak way back in 2003. I still remember that at the point of time I was building the business in China. And we all know that during the SARS outbreak, right, the most dangerous place, right, is actually China and Singapore, right? I think some of you came from Singapore. You're probably aware of this, right? If you do not know, probably you're just too young, right? So in fact, there's one famous, right? Today we all know that there is a multi-billionaire, right? He's probably one of the richest men in China or even in Asia, right? And this guy is called Jack Ma. I think everybody probably heard about him, right? So he actually came out. He actually, have a statement that I think is very powerful during the SARS period. He did mention about, during the SARS, right? We should not think of that. We should not think that this is an opportunity, right, to profit. Instead, we should think of, many probably have encountered some troubles, right, and how we can help them. I think indeed this is the way, what they call it, a successful people think. They think very differently, right? They think very positive. In fact, if you track back in 2003, right, Alibaba, right, which is founded by Jack Ma, right, in those days in 2003, they are still a struggling companies. In fact, they got affected by SARS also during that period of time. But, even though they are not doing very well in terms financially or in terms of business, but the way they look into problems in a very positive angle, right? So that's the reason why I think for all of you that are online today, right? No matter what happened right now, right? A lot of problems and challenges. I think we need to look into the problems in a positive direction so that we probably can get some solution, right? And benefit every one of us. So in fact, because of that incident, right, that triggered his desire to help more people, right? And that's how you realize that, we all know the history right now, right? With the development of Taobao, and eventually you realize that Alibaba have developed probably one of the most successful online e-commerce platform in the whole world, right? Just within a very short period of time, in less than 15 to 16 years, right? And he have developed such a big giant. Right? Why? Because he identified a big problem then, right? And he started to move a lot of business, right, and online. And that's how we realize that today, right, we saw a big giant like Alibaba, and at the same time, we realized that we solved a lot of people's problem. And today, right, with this COVID-19 started from China, in fact, Alibaba business was not affected at all, right? If some of you are invested in stock market, probably you can observe that Alibaba's shares did not drop a lot, right? So that's the reason why I think, right, we need to learn from all the positive entrepreneurs, people, right? How do they think, right, when they encounter some problems and challenges? So again, right, we started to think, right, are we a provider or are we just a recipient, right? Do we have the ability to provide solution for any of the crisis, right? I think the reason why I was invited to speak over here is that, I'm more than willing to add values over here because I find that, I'm able to provide solution to this crisis. And I can probably help a lot of people, right? Given enough time, right, they are able to really win big and become a winner out of this crisis, right? So we are all solution provider if we are able to face the problem positively, right? So what are the problems right now that we face through this crisis, right? In fact, through this COVID crisis, right, make us realize three things, I think, right? At least three important things, which is very significant and very important. The first one, I think, the importance of health. Right? Health is very important. At this moment of time, we all know that without health, right, in fact, quite a number of people actually got killed, right, through the virus infection, the COVID virus infection. So if we have a strong health immune system, in fact, it believes that we are very much protected. So health is very important. The second one, of course, the importance of low risk business model, right? We all know that you balance that with this COVID crisis, indirectly you balance it affect a lot of business, right? In fact, a lot of business they have a high risk or high capital involved, right? They suffer badly, and many of the companies you balance that they actually go bankrupt, right? I think some of you are in Singapore. You realize that even Singapore Airlines was one of the most successful airline in the whole world, right? And we all know that travel business are affected badly due to this crisis. And Singapore Airlines, in fact, in a very difficult position right now, right? They probably need help from the government, right? I think there's another airline that's very famous in Malaysia, right? I probably everyone from Malaysia probably heard before, right? It's mentioned this company is called Asia, right? The tagline is actually that now everyone can fly, right? But unfortunately, you realize that with the crisis today, you realize that now everyone can't fly, right? But because you realize that the capital involvement in a lot of business is just too high risk. So even though they are doing good for a period of time, but you realize that probably if this thing lasts for the next couple of months, right, a lot of business is going to go collapse. So the importance of low risk business model is extremely important right now, right? The third one is importance of having passive income. And for a lot of people, right, in fact, people who are working or self-employed, right? In fact, many of people, they don't have savings. And once they stop working, right, they stop the active income, right? And many of the people, you realize that they cannot even survive for 3 months or 6 months. But if this thing prolonged for a year, right, I think a lot of people got into a lot of trouble. The reason why, right, they get into such difficult position because they don't understand the concept of passive income. They do not understand, right, building a passive income or cash flow income, so that if any event, right, any difficult events, they still have income to continue to spend, right? So these are the three I identified that the three big problems right now because of crisis, right? We uncover this crisis. So over here in our platform, right? How can we help, right? Reason why I want to reach out to a lot of people, I find that indeed we can help, right? We are the solution provider. The first thing, right? In fact, the products that we carry, we have a lot of health and wellness product. In fact, I cannot claim, of course, I cannot claim how good our products are. But to be frank, right, starting this COVID virus starting from China, right? I heard a lot of my business builders and partners, they have been consuming our products for a long period of time. To be honest, right, I never heard any of the bad news, right? Any of the bad news. I cannot claim that our products can help, to cure or to whatever. But indeed, it realized that because the immune system are stronger, right? They are able to have stronger resistance. So I believe that with our products, right, we can help a lot of people to gain back, their health immunity, right, to fight the virus, right? The second one, of course, in terms of our business model, right, it doesn't require any risk. Right? It's very low risk, almost zero risk, right? You can sign up for free, you can run the business already. So in fact, you started to expand the business, there's no additional risk, right? The third one, having a passive income. In fact, we know that in our business model, it's the same thing, right? As you spend more time building the network of customers, right? And at the same time, you realize you're building more of a business partners together with you, right? Then you will be having a huge passive income. So in the event that anything happens to you, you realize that you do not have any worry. I'm lucky enough that, 19, 20 years ago, when I first started, right, I have the vision of this, passive income. And that's the reason why that I work so hard to build up my passive income in the initial years. To be frank, right, at this moment of time, right, during this crisis, I was not affected. In fact, many of our partners were not really affected that much, even though that our movement are being restricted, right? So we have, in fact, the mission, right? Our mission right now, for all our partners right now is to get to our family and friends, right, before the COVID-19. And even, right, possibly you realize that with the COVID-19 extension, right, it could be recession that is coming. I think if you read news, right, I don't want to show you too much of the news, but basically today, right, if you read newspaper or any news, it's all bad news. There's no good news, right? But if this COVID virus is going to be widespread, that for the next couple of months or extend a few more months, I think, right, the economy is going to be going to a recession, right? That's going to impact a lot of people negatively in terms of financial. So in fact, through our platform, right, we can reach out to help a lot of people. That's the reason why that, I caught up on this meeting. Yep. Well, I want to start off with my story, right? Before I talk about the possibility of our platform, but I think it's good for me to share with you my stories, because I think my stories is one of the testimonies of this platform, right? And some of the important features of this platform, right? In fact, I, like many of you know, right? For some of the old friends, you know that I was born in Malaysia, right? In one of the fishing village, small village in Malaysia. This is my father, right? I think this photo was taken way back when I was 2 or 3 years old, probably, yeah, when I was young. So the other photo was actually together with my dad, right? My dad is almost like coming to 80, 90 years old, right? He was actually, we were actually took the photo together in our last convention, ST convention, which was last November. Yeah. So that I started, I complete my primary school education in Malaysia, and subsequently, I went to Singapore to further my studies. So I graduated in National University of Singapore, and used to be major in economics, right, as a university graduate. But I did not work for anyone before, right? In fact, my first career, right, I was actually straight after graduation, I went into insurance. The reason why that because I don't believe in employment. Right? I don't believe in working for people because I know that there will be a limited income. Right? One of the main core reason I joined insurance, because I know, right, this business model, right, is low risk, it's zero risk. Right? If I'm willing to work hard, right, my income is unlimited. So my boss used to tell me, right, our income is unlimited. But after I've been building the business for about 4 to 5 years, I realized that what he says is not totally correct, because time is limited. Yeah, time is limited, because you all know that being a financial planner, we are just a self-employed, right? So if we are very capable and good, right, after all, you realize that you're only 24 hours per day. So if you want to scale your income, you want to increase your income, right, probably not just that you can work harder because you don't have so many hours. You need to eat, you need to sleep, right? You need to rest, you need to do other things. So of course you can choose to build team, right, to have leverage income. But unfortunately, you realize that because of some of the pain points in this industry, right, makes me start to think twice. Like for example, right, the product limitation. The products, as you all know, that it's not highly consumable and highly repeat sellable, right? People don't buy insurance every month, right? Literally, you realize that you've got to continue to look for new people, right? To say it's a product limitation, of course, as an industry, it's very much restricted because it's a financial industry, right? So in fact, you realize that I was started from Singapore. In those days, Singapore has only 3 million population, only 3 million. So even though you realize that, right, I could be capable and could be hardworking, but you realize that I cannot expand beyond Singapore. It's restricted, right? Because it's a financial industry. It's very regulated. So I miss out a lot of opportunity to go regional, to go global, not because of my ability, but because of the restriction that I have. And also partly not, I was thinking of just building a team and to have leverage income, because I know that being a financial planner, I was just self-employed, right? If I want to leverage my income, scale my income, I need to build team, right? Build group. So I have the envision to become a manager, but I realized that again, there are a lot of limitations. Why? Because even the industry, right? The government restrict you of number of agents that actually you can recruit. So because of all these restrictions, right? Even though that I was doing pretty well, I was there for almost like 5 years. I started to have lose hope for the future. The point of time I was 28 years old. If you look at my photo here, right, I was 27 years old, right? So if you look at the 27 years old, right, or 27 years old, at the point of time was I looked pretty old and pretty mature, right? So in fact, I was there for almost like 4 to 5 years, and building the business, and subsequently, I started to have doubts about future, right? So I was at crossroad, just like many of you over here in this crisis, right? You are at a crossroad right now, right? Why? Because in any crisis, you realize that we are unsure, right, which direction to go. So I still remember that point of time in year 2000, it was actually a dot-com bubble, right? For some of you, if you are the same generation like me, you probably know that year 2000, there's a dot-com bubble, right? And the stock market collapsed, right? And a lot of people lose their job, retrenchment. And also because of that, you realize that business is not easy. So I was at a point of same thing, right? Like the crisis, the point of time, big crisis like you today, right? I was making a decision, but I'm very sober. That's why I think it's very important. And during crisis, right, it's very important for you to stay calm and think, right? And think about, what do you actually want in the future? So I took, right? In fact, I cool down myself and start to think, right? What do I want? So I start to position myself, right? Where am I right now, and where am I going in the future, right? I'm not just serving something for immediate gains for just 1 or 2 months. I'm just thinking that if I'm going to embark on a new journey, a new platform, right, where will I be in the future? So I started to plan for myself and started to think, right, what do I actually want? So I came out, to have an objective, right, to have a long-term, stable, and continual high income. So that was my positioning when I chose the platform. So I'm trying, because of when many people realize that, they actually look for opportunity first, but they don't know what they want, right? So they just grab. But to me, you realize that I'm a little bit different, because I want to make sure that, I know what are the direction that I'm going, then I choose the right platform to fit into my positioning. So which is long-term, it must be long-term, because I know that I will get old one day. But I don't want to be 50 and 60 years old, 70 years old, realize that I got to restart all over again, right? And the second thing, you realize that I want to have a stable business. And then the last one, of course, the most important, more excitingly, if my business can continue to grow, right? Because a lot of business, you realize that we will make redundant and replaceable as we age, we become older. So that was my positioning when I first started. So I started to draw, right, my future. In fact, you realize that every choice determines our destiny. So I started to think of what is the possibility if I choose different platform, right? In fact, you realize that all of us are pursuing, choosing fighting for income, right, or trying to increase our income. And there's a very important element you realize is given fixed and free for us, which is time, right? Time is the most important for every one of us. The reason why that some people are more productive and more successful, because they know how to use this God-given time of 24 hours, right, in a very productive way. So the way you invest the time, right, they use different kind of result. But many people, they actually did not do due diligence. They did not study. They just jump into any platform. Let me see, right? Let us see the biggest group of the people, right? There's people who are employment, right? They're employee. The employee basically realize that probably they will be they consist about 80% to 90% of the people in this society, right? And if they started work probably in the early age, right, from early 20s, probably up by the time they retire of 50 or 60 years old. But as you can see from this crisis, there are a lot of people are getting retrenched. And this is just one crisis, right? If you work for about 40 years, you realize you'll probably experience at least, I think, right, 5 to 6 times, right? Sometimes you realize that, right, we cannot outlive the company collapses, that's why we lose a job. So the best scenario that employee can be, right, is that they go very smooth. By the time they retire, they go back to zero. So no matter how good you are as an employee, right, at the end of the day, you realize that the income drops back to zero. So this is not something that I want. That's why I never make the choice. Right. The second choice of people, of course, being self-employed, like myself, right? When I was an insurance agent, when I was a financial planner, right? Depending very much on my ability to make money. If I work hard, I make more money. Like lawyers, doctors, accountant, right? Or performers, movie stars, right? Influencers. So these are the people you realize that they're very much depending on their own personal charisma or ability to make money. But unfortunately, you realize that when they start not to be active, right, the income will stop. So no matter you are the top surgeon, you realize that one day you cannot perform the surgical operation anymore, you cannot have the income. So that's a typical self-employed, people, right? You can experience a high income because you're talented, but unfortunately you realize if anything happened to you, you realize that income goes back to zero. So I personally find that this is probably one of the very risk group of people. That's the reason why I started to think of other possibility, right? The third group of people, whether getting involved in traditional business, right? And I think a lot of people are setting up company, building their own business. They like to be an entrepreneur, like to be called a label or be titled as businessman, right? Businessman sounds like very glamorous, right? In fact, we all know that if you're given long enough time, right, 30 years or 40 years, if you're still alive, right, in fact, you probably experience a lot of crisis, like what we're experiencing right now, right? Today, I think I don't have to explain a lot of things, but in fact, you realize if you look at the people around us, a lot of companies, right, and many companies, they're going to go bankrupt. For sure, right? And the things is that we don't even know that how long you will last for this crisis. So if you stay long enough, right, 1 or 2 years is not good enough to see. You can see business people, they can do well for a couple of years, but you realize in just one crisis, they hit and everything. It goes back to zero, even sub-zero, right, to bankrupt. So it's too risky. When I saw this model, I realized that I don't want to be participating in all this platform. It's just too risky because my heart cannot take it, right? Because we all know that health is very important. So when I get to know about the NewSkin platform, I got really excited, right? Not because it's MLM. To be honest with you, right? Nobody is excited about MLM. We hear a lot of bad things about bad names about MLM. But the reason why I got excited about NewSkin, right? Because I understand the possibility of compounding my efforts, experiencing the exponential growth of my income, right? To the infinity. And one day you realize that when I choose to retire, right? I can still to have income, cash flow income or passive income, we call it. So I love this kind of business model. Right, and most important thing you realize that is low risk. So that's how I started with the NewSkin journey. Right, I work very hard. I must say that there are some challenges to me. You know why? Because I don't have good complexion to start with. Because NewSkin, they do not start with the health supplement business. They are challenging me because why? They started with skincare products, right? So which I do not have good complexion to start with. Right, it's very challenging. So if you ask me, right, are they challenges? Yes. The first challenge that I face will be the product. The product, that I need to promote is very difficult. But I only want to see what is eventuality. That means what is the eventual outcome that I can achieve, right? All I want is the kind of exponential and compounding effect results that I want the outcome. That the process is also important because to me, as long as if someone have done it before me, right, and I'm willing to learn and they're willing to teach, I think it's no problem for me. I can become successful because I'm prepared to work hard. Because I know that even though if I work hard in other platform, I may not experience the result that I have want. Just want to show you my personal growth path in this journey, right? So when I decided on this platform, I know that I don't want exponential growth remains as a theory, right? I want to experience the kind of growth. So if you look at my chart over here, right, and the different milestone of NewSkin recognize me, right? I started way back in December 2000, so literally officially in 2001. So I spent about 2 years and 3 months to complete my first $1 million US, right? And I took another 3 years, right, to become 5 million. Then I took another 4 years to become 10 million, another 2 years to become 10 million. So if you plot the curve, right, you understand what is the power of compounding and what's the power of exponential growth. So it's not a matter of how smart I am, but I think recognizing the opportunity is extremely important, right? That's why I say that what do you want is very important because the rest of other things, it can be learned, right? And people are willing to teach you. So if you can see from my past, right, when I first started the journey with NewSkin, I have bad complexions to start with, right? And many of my friends were laughing at me. I was thinking that what am I doing, right? It seems to be a very sensible and a very good at numbers. And all of a sudden, I was seen like a skincare seller, right? So a skincare promoter because they don't understand that where am I going into. I'm not going to selling the skincare products alone, but in fact, I'm here to build a network of customers and building a business. So as evidently, you can see that my transformation over the years. So very thankful. To be honest, right? I never pray to become more handsome and better looking. when I started a business, right, with New Skin, or with even in the past in insurance, because I just want to make more money, right? I just want to be wealthy, right? But this is a what they call it, the extra, that benefits that I have over the years, right? As you can see, the change in me, the transformation, right? In 2003, when I was recognized as $1 million Circle One members, right? And the company took a photo for me, right? That was actually doing a lot of touch up, right? And that was the best version of myself in 2003, right? And 9 years later, when 2012, when I was being recognized as $20 million, right? Company did the same, and another photo, professional image photo for me. When I put together, I realized I look so much younger. So that is a good side effect of joining the New Skin business, right? So that was not expected at all. But I think the most important thing at this moment of time, for some of you are in fact, you are online, right? You are looking to hear how can you win big in this during this crisis through this platform, right? So I think the key word is about potential. Are there still potential, right, in this platform? So this is a very important question. Just like 20 years ago, I asked myself when the company was 17 years old, right? And I was asking myself that are there still opportunities? Are there still potential? Because a lot of times people were thinking that will there be saturation, right? Let me tell you that saturation is a myth, right? Literally is a myth. Why? Because as long as our product offering, right, we all know that we are in health business, right? Health and beauty and opportunity, HBO. Which you realize that as long as people are alive, as like few people alive, right? There'll be people who are looking for health solution. Like today, you realize that because of the crisis today, our health supplement business are booming, right? And beauty to look good, and opportunity to make extra income or even make huge income, right? But I think the reason why the New Skin are built to last, right? Because of the three important elements that we have, right? Our competitive advantages, which I think that I want to spend a little bit of time to explain to you, right? About these three things, right? Some of you may not totally understand, but I just want to try my best to give you some simple illustration, right? The first one is scalable, right? Scalable might sound to be a very, profound words to understand, right? For some of you, but a simple word means that, increase. You can scale, right? Can increase. For example, if we are working for someone as an employee, if you want to scale your income, if you want to increase income, is it easy? Not easy. Sometimes a few years you don't even have pay increment, right? And sometimes you realize that if the economy not doing well, you got retrenched, or even you realize that you suffer pay cut. I think if I'm not wrong, Singapore minister have just announced that they have a pay cut also, right? And of course, there are a lot of people getting pay cut today, right, with the crisis. So the first question you ask yourself, right, as an employee, if you're working for someone else, right, can you scale your income given years, right? Even you can scale to a certain level, right? It's always a limit. By the time you retire, it goes back to zero, right? So there's the first group of people for employees. For the second group of people, for the self-employed people, we have a limited time of 24 hours a day, right? How could you possibly increase your income? To scale your income, it's very tough. To be honest, it's very tough. Unless you duplicate another one of you. But too bad you realize that being a self-employed is not easy for you to be replaceable. Personal attention is required, or your personal ability is required, right? So that is difficult for you to scale. For New Skin platform, right? Why? For even for traditional business, right? If you want to scale your business, chances are you realize that you need to invest more money. So you need more capital involvement. You need to borrow more money. The risk becomes very high, right? You can open 1 shop to 10 shop to 100 shop, but unfortunately, you realize that if anything happened to you, it's too difficult. It's not just about the time and the money involvement, but I think more important thing is that it's difficult for you to employ people, to get good people to work for you, right? So it's not easy for you to scale the business, even though yes, the demand for your products and services because of the business model. As for New Skin, right, why is it that I got excited about the business model? First, right, it's global and borderless. Right, as you know that over in, online over here, right, we have so many countries, right? Even some countries that today, is they are as we are at night right now, they're actually in the daytime, right? We can scale our business. Why? Because literally while you're sleeping, right, the model actually works for you, right? So that's something that's very interesting. It's global, right? Scalable because you're given so many billions of population for you to work with. So this is something that's very important for you to consider, right? And second thing, you realize that for you to branch out, right, from your personal franchise, that means that you're starting from Singapore, but to expand to other countries is very easy, right? There's literally no deterrence or no barriers of entry. Signing up in another countries as our partner is free. So you can immediately realize that you can mobilize and activate any one of your contacts or referrals or indirect contacts, right? And you can scale your business in other countries. So it's so easy. Why? Because there's no risk at all, right? And the platform and the infrastructure allows us to actually scale the business in a very short period of time, right? The second one, which is mobile, right, or mobility, I call it, right? In fact, you realize that this has become very important, right, in today's world, in the modern world, right? In the past, you realize that we are very much fixated into a location, right, in terms of business. If you are, if you are opening your hawker, right, opening a store in a certain location like in Singapore, Toa Payoh, right, you probably cannot actually be mobile, but to be able to, to cater your service to every part of the world, right? Even though you realize that if you're working, right, desk bound, you realize that you cannot move. But in our business, right, you can mobile, right? That means you can move around. Like for example, due to the COVID crisis, right, I can't actually host a physical meeting and meet every one of you, right? But I can do this online, right? I can do this online, in fact, every part of the world. So in fact, right, in the early part, when China has got into the COVID virus, when it's becoming more serious, right, and after which Singapore started, I actually went to Malaysia because Malaysia at that point of time, they don't have many cases. So I was in Malaysia, but I still continue to build my business online, right? Then after which you realize that I just came back from Singapore, Malaysia become worse. In fact, I wanted to go back to Malaysia, but today because the situations get worse, I stay put in Singapore. So it doesn't affect my business, right? It's so mobile. But if you look at a lot of job, right, a lot of business, right, they are fixated, right? So if you are fixated in a certain place, certain location, right, you're dead, right? And sometimes due to the natural disasters like tsunami, right, like whatever disease or whichever things that happen to the country or to the location, right, your business is suffer. In fact, today, you realize that the modern world today, people like to travel, right? Sometimes you realize that, we do not know whether we will fix in one certain location or stay in one location for life. We don't know, right? Especially young generation today, right? We may be staying in this country for 3 years or few years, and subsequently we want to migrate to other countries. But for a lot of business, you realize that you cannot carry your business to other countries, to other region. But in our business, you realize that, right, very easy. You just buy a air ticket, you just move to any other countries, you can just operate your business online, right? And it's not affecting your business at all. So this mobility has become a very strong, powerful competitive advantage, right, in comparing different kind of platform. The last one, of course, I think is most important, also sustainable, right? People are talking about sustainability right now because it's not about the instant success you have, right? It cannot be just about how much money you make during a one short period of time, but can you sustain the business? Can you sustain your income? Right? Though people are getting wiser right now, right? They are not just looking at one-time big income. They also understand that how long can you sustain, right? For a lot of job, you realize I mentioned to you, I show you the curve of an employee. You cannot sustain after a certain period of time. You need to get retired or retrenched, because otherwise you realize your age is catching up, right? You cannot perform anymore. It's not sustainable in the employment model. Self-employed is the same thing, right? And traditional business, you realize it's difficult for you to sustain for generation. That's why you realize that hardly we hear brands about 100 years old. I can tell you that in this crisis, many 100 years old brand will collapse. It's not easy to sustain, right? But for new scheme platform, we also witness how is it possible to become sustainable. I think first most important thing you understand about our business plan, right? Our business model, right? We are not an employee and employer kind of relationship. We all know that in terms of employer and employee relationship, like they're always conflicting. For example, right? Employer will always be thinking, right? In the hope that the employee can work harder and less income. The employee will be always thinking that, right? I hope that my employer can give me more money and I can work less time. So you see, these two group of people working in the relationship in the platform, actually they're conflicting, right? It's not in harmony. This kind of relationship cannot be sustainable for a long period of time. But in our new scheme business model, it's different, right? We are in partnership. Right, we are in a win-win partnership. In fact, you realize that you need a partner to become successful so that you become successful. So you always think of how can you benefit, add values, and help your business partner to become successful so that you can become successful. Because of this nature, right? And we all know that it's possible to become sustainable. And also, right, I think most important thing is also our product. Right, our products, you realize that we have the ability, new skin, we have the ability to, we have a strong R&D team. We are not like other companies, you realize that they sell on one product, one single product. They don't have a strong R&D team. Whatever good product you're having right now, right, given years, probably get outdated. Just like mobile phone, right? Mobile phone, you realize that it started from Nokia until today, you realize that we have digital phone, right? We've changed so much, right? If you're still selling the old Nokia phone, it's not sustainable anymore. So do the company and the platform has the ability to do R&D, right? Their ability to create new innovative products. I think this is all very important. And the last feature, I think the most important thing is about legacy. You can build legacy. So whatever network of customers and the business partners that you build up, right? And anytime you realize that you just want to transfer this business to anyone, right? It's hassle-free, right? You just need to inform the company, just sign, right? In fact, you realize that literally you can pass the business to them. No leadership is required. But in any other business, right? If you want to pass on to a certain individual, like your family members, if they're not capable enough, they have no strong leadership, once you pass to them, the business will collapse, right? So that's what I mean, that sometimes, right, it's not how capable, how smart you are, right? The fact you realize that the model is very important. The platform, the model, the choice of model is extremely important. So if you do understand about this scalable, mobile, sustainable, right, these three features, I can literally tell you that New Skin platform will not get saturation, because in any generations of people, they are looking for these three solutions, right? Three features that can fit into the solution. So that is why that I'm very confident, right? But again, right, is this a proven platform, right? I think I'm one of very good testimonies. Even though I didn't started, as a pioneer, I started 17 years later, right? But I create a lot of results based on my hard work, right? And not only did I become successful, as you can see, right, in our team, right, starting from us, right, we have duplicate a lot of millionaires and multi-millionaires, right? We have more than hundreds of multi-millionaires being created, right? I'm talking about, in cash, right? In cash. And the most important thing is that we are different from those millionaires outside through the property investment and other investment or what do you call it, active income accumulation. But ours, you realize that, even though they are already achieved becoming a millionaire, they are still receiving cash flow income, right? They are still receiving residual income every month. So that is a powerful part of becoming a New Skin millionaire, right? And this goes to show that, right, not only I can become successful, in fact, this business model, right, our success can be duplicated. I think that is a good news, because sometimes you realize that you have strong desire to become successful, but nobody can teach us, or even the platform don't allow you, to duplicate other people's success. Just like Bill Gates and Jack Ma, honestly, if you look at all these people, it's not easy for them to duplicate. We get inspired by the stories, but the true fact is, I can tell you that, right, it's not easy. But from this business model, this business platform, right, many people can duplicate me, right? And through this team of the leaders, right, we have developed a proven system, right? We call it Success Together Worldwide STWW system, right? And not only that, we help, to create a lot of multi-millionaire, right? We help thousands of people to become financially free, right? That's why that we go great, because of the system that we developed, and we even go to extra mile, right? This is never done in the industry before, right? We created our STWW University, STU in short, right? And all this in this platform, in this learning platform, in fact, you realize that all the teachers and all the coaches are millionaires, are self-made millionaires from New Skin business, right? They came back to contribute for free, to coach, right, all the new generations of intakes, right? In fact, you all know that in all the other universities, right, we probably get engaged professors, right? They are very good in theory. They probably never run business before. So I think that, with our STU, we can help a lot of entrepreneurs, right, to build their business in a risk-free environment, and they have people to actually coach them become successful. So we have the commitment in the ST, right? And in fact, we are the only group that have so many, millionaires, builders, and leaders that work together, right, in this industry. So this is amazing, because of every one of them, they have go-giver spirit, right? Next, I think, right, I've talked about the platform and the benefits and the advantages. But I think most important thing is that you got to start to think for yourself, right? At this moment, during this crisis, where are you right now, right? And where are you going? I think that's very important, right? You need to be need to have clarity first, then you can choose that right direction. Well, I can give you some advice, right? I think many of you have probably experienced different kind of way of making money before, right? In fact, one thing that you probably ask yourself, right? One question you can ask yourself: are you looking for another opportunity to satisfy, to make extra income, one-time income, to solve a temporary problems, or you want to look for a platform, right, that can fulfill a long-term income, right? That means a long-term use for you, so that even though the next crisis came about, right, you have no worry, and you are not affected. Your crisis proof, right? So this is something that I think when you are exploring another new opportunities, right, you keep calm and think about it, right? Are you looking for another one-time income, or you are looking for lifetime income? I think that's a very important tips, right, that I'm going to give it to you today. Another one is that, what are you fighting for? For some of you, they're almost the same generations like me. You've been fighting for 20 years, 30 years, right, in your corporate career, in your job, in your business, right? Have you actually, why not you take a little bit of time right now and sober and think, especially at this period of time, right? Probably you cannot work also, you cannot do your business also. And start to think, right? What do you actually want? What are you fighting for? Are you fighting for a successful career, successful business, or at the expense of the health? Or you're building a you're building a sustainable business at the same time, right? You're building a legacy. You're building a what they call it, a sustainable passive income, so that you can enjoy a good lifestyle. At the same time, you realize you potentially build a legacy for the generation to come. For your information, right? For the new skin business, right? You are able to transfer to your next generation, your next of kin, right? Meaning what? It's actually an asset. It's legacy. It's an asset. So this is something that you realize you're not just looking for another job to satisfy for a one-time or active income, but rather you realize that you're building a long-term, I call it an insurance policy, right? Just anything happen, you realize that it's transferable, right? And you realize that your benefit, your next of kin are able to benefit, right, from your past effort. So this is something that I find at this moment of time, right? And you have some time, this is something that you need to consider and think, right? But if you are looking for what I'm telling you, right, definitely New Skin is the only platform you can choose. So some people, they ask me, well, I have no experience in sales, right? I'm not like you. I used to be in insurance. I was just a professional accountant. I was just a professional engineer. I never sell a single soap in my life before, right? So what is actually that, how do I actually operate and do the business? In fact, what do you need to do, right? A lot of people thought that it's about salesmanship. It's not about so much about salesmanship, especially with the digital handphone today, right? With the ready Wi-Fi. In fact, for our business, it's so easy to get started. All you need just to have a phone, right? You just need a phone, Wi-Fi or data plan, right? As long as you're able to connect with people, which you are doing anyway, right? You're doing every day. It's just your conversation is different, right? Many of the time, you talk a lot of bullshit. At this point of time, you realize that many people, spreading a lot of fake news, right? Making people more panic about it, right? Actually, all these are not yielding any profits to you, right? Any what do you call it? Any legacy or any income to you, right? You're wasting a lot of your time, right? So if what are we doing right now? The first thing is that we are connecting needs, right, through interaction. Needs of what? For example, at this moment of time, people are aware of health, right? In fact, you realize our health products, our health supplement can help to connect with their needs and solve the problems, right? And second, you realize that in terms of opportunity, people are looking for opportunity, right, as a part-time or even extra income to start with, right? And in fact, you realize that they're looking for low risk or even zero risk, right, to start with. Just a handphone they get started. Even they got stuck at home, right, they can build a business too. So our job is to spend a lot of time, right, every day connecting with people, right? Some people, they need a product, right, need the opportunity, right? We'll just fulfill their needs, right? We are fulfilling needs. The second one, of course, sharing experiences. As you are getting more experiences like what I did today, right? Over 19 years of good experience in the industry, right? I'm sharing my experiences. Right? These are all authentic and genuine, right? You can actually, I'm just like anyone, any normal people that right? 19 years ago. I was extraordinary not because how good I am. I was extraordinary because of this wonderful platform that changed me, right? So we are in the business of connecting needs, right, and sharing experiences. And the most important thing, you have somebody to teach, right, in our platform when you get started, right? In fact, people think about when you get embarked in this business, you have no friends or relatives. Actually, that's not true, right? After 19 years, I have more friends than I ever have, right? In fact, later I'm going to share a little bit about my work lifestyle, right? In fact, for our business, you happen to need it, right? I happen to be professionals. So even though at a new amateur, when you get started, you're not professional yet, but you can leverage on your referral or your business partner, right? They are professional to help you to kickstart with your business. So this is probably one of the, not one of, but in fact, the simplest business that you can get started, simplest opportunity you can get started, especially if you're partnering with us, right? We have an established training system to support you. Well, start now, right, for your long-term solution, right? If you are thinking of any of the possibility of making extra income, right? Think of what do you want, right? A one-time income or long-term income? Or solving your one-time income at the same time, you realize you're building something for long-term, right? So if you say yes, right, for your long-term solution. If you are saying yes, I think, right, you need to understand, right? When we choose a new beginning, right, we have actually chosen the outcome from the choice that we make. I don't know whether you understand what I'm trying to tell you, right? In fact, for myself, it's the same thing, right? I started way back, 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago in the business, right? At the beginning, right? The outcome that I have today, right? It's kind of like chosen, So the same thing that we are embarking on a new skin journey, right? In fact, you choose when you choose a beginning, right? You're kind of able to predict and forecast the outcome. Like the rest for hard work, right? The rest are hard work. So, but for a lot of opportunity, when you embark on it, you do not know what's going to happen, right? For our outcome, basically, you look at the people before you, longer experience than you, right? And what is the good possible outcome, right? In fact, I want to share something with you, right, which I find is very interesting, right? Even though that I do not have much time already, but I think it's very important, right? In fact, you all know that how we make a living, right, will decide how our lifestyle is, our work lifestyle. Right? If you are a char kway teow, right? If you are a char kway teow hawker, you can make millions also if you are skillful. There are some of the hawkers, they drive Mercedes, luxury car, right? They stay in bungalow, they make millions of dollars. But definitely you realize that the lifestyle of the char kway teow hawker is different, right? That's the reason why many of all these so-called popular hawkers, many of their second generations, they do not want to take over the business. Why? Because they don't enjoy the kind of lifestyle. They know it's making money, but they don't enjoy. So how you make a living will decide a lifestyle. And some of the job or some of the profession, while you are making a living, you're actually sacrificing your health. Many of the profession or many of the career realize that you're trading your health for wealth, for money, right? But we never thought of it because we just want to make money. So I wanted to let you understand on a different angle. Actually, in fact, it's true. Right? How you make a living will decide a different lifestyle. I want to share with you my work lifestyle over the 2019. In fact, this year I'm supposed to travel since January. Lucky I went to Hawaii in January. In fact, in subsequent month I cannot travel anymore because of COVID. Right? If not, I'll be traveling today. We are still probably in New Zealand for a team day trip. But I want to show you in 2019 what did I do for my business. Right, early of the years, Chinese New Year, right? Actually, I was spending some time with my China business partners, right? And many of all these people have been we've been working together for almost like 10 years, right? Happened to be last year Chinese New Year also happened to be on Valentine's Day also, right? We have spent together about 5 days together, right? And we actually because of Chinese New Year, right? In the Chinese tradition, where we actually what do you call it? Group like a family members, right? And we go out in the daytime, right? We rented yacht, going out, have champagne, talking about life, sharing about dreams, right? So wonderful, right? But sometimes you think that maybe, when you look at some of these photos, you may think that I was actually, and having holidays. But the true fact is that I could be just still working, right? And at the same time, after my China, spending some time with my China leaders, I went back Southeast Asia, and this is the moment that I have together, right, with my Southeast Asia leaders. I still remember, right, it's in the moments, we commit ourselves, right, as with the velocity opportunity, like they came around, right. We want to commit ourselves, right, and in fact, we do a pledge and a promise over here, right. We want to help transform more life and through this platform because we are the beneficiary, right, from this business, and we hope to be able to extend more help to a lot of people. So make the commitment, right? And I love this photo we took together. And after which, straight away I go to Indonesia. I went to Bali, right? And why I went to Bali, and Bali also for work, for leisure, right? Basically, we have an incentive trip for our China group, our China business partners. So the reason why that I was there, because I want to spend some time with them during the incentive trip. Then after that, I went to Tokyo, right? And the reason why I was in Tokyo is also partly because of work, right? It seems that I'm having fun, but the true fact is that I'm working. Why? Because this is the incentive trip given to our Southeast Asian leaders. So I was there to celebrate the success, right? And enjoy, of course, enjoy the company together. Then 1 month later in May, right, I traveled to Monaco, right? You all know that Monaco is probably one of the most expensive city in the whole world. Country, in fact, it's a country, right? It's a small country, but it's very expensive. A lot of luxury cars, right? And probably a lot of richest people are staying over there, right? In fact, this is our team lead trip, a yearly team lead trip. It's super 5-star luxury, right? And this we do it every year. Every year we have an opportunity to meet our founders, right? And these are the bosses of a public listed company, right? I receive a lot of wisdom from them through interaction. We have a lot of opportunity to sit down and talk about our future, right? For this platform, and after so many years, and they become my best friends. And the most important thing, right? We also group together our global leaders, our team leaders, and also many of our million dollar circle, million dollar earners, right? And all this we come together, right? And many of the family members also, right? And we travel. In fact, we have this ST Travel Club, right? Which every year of this team leader trip, right? We've actually grouped together, and I really enjoy the kind of moment when we're together, right? And spend almost like 10 days, right? And straight away, I move on to another country, right? From a very rich country, I move on to another country, right? In Africa, in Kenya. And one of the reasons why they actually traveled to Kenya is because I visited the United Nations, right? I think for some of you know that there's a United Nations branch in Kenya. It's a beautiful country, of course. But I think the reason why I was there also partly also try to understand about the environment control, because we all know that Earth environment is getting very bad. I think that, right, if not for the new skin business, for all of the good and none of the bad ingredients, right, that our company education and propose, I probably would not be traveling to such country to learn about all these things. Yeah, it's an amazing journey, right? And of course, after that, I moved on to US. I went to US. Actually, I attended the EMBA class in MIT, right, organized by New Skin China. So in fact, I have the privilege to be invited to go to MIT. You all know that MIT is a very established university, right? For many of the top students, this is their dream university. To be honest, when I was studying, I never thought of going to that university because I know it's beyond my dreams, beyond my reach. It's not possible. But through the New Skin platform, my dreams are realized, right? And I'm able to attend the EMBA course, and not only in to MIT, even in West Point. So we all know that West Point, right, is the best leadership academy. In fact, according to research, right, for the most of the CEOs from Fortune 500 company actually graduate from West Point. Right, I'm glad to be partnering with New Skin, a company, right, that actually focus on leadership development. That invited me. I have the opportunity, right, to learn 3 days there, right, for accelerated course about leadership. Right, in fact, when I was traveling there, where I realized that it's a beautiful place, right, and I really hope that every one of us can go in the future. And straight after that, we went to our US Global Convention, organized by the company. I really feel very touched. I don't know about you, right? I was just thinking, if I'm running my own business for 19 years, if I have some achievement, right, would I get any recognition for myself? I probably no, right? I would not pat on the shoulder of myself and well done, right? Probably I buy something for myself to reward myself, but I think that nobody will recognize us. But through the last 19 years experience in New Skin, right, every year as we build a business, right, we get recognition at a global stage. Right? If you look at the stage, it was beautiful. Right? It's not that I love the kind of recognition, but I think, right, every one of us, when we work hard, right, when put in efforts, we hope that we can be recognized, right? So this is over the last 90 years, the companies never fail us. They put up the best for every one of us. And we have the opportunity also to attend the Force for Good Gala dinner, right? I never thought of doing charity before, right? When I was a startup, building my own business. But today, thanks to New Skin, right? The Force for Good culture, right? And every year we have this charity auction, and this time around we have the opportunity to bid the New York Stock Exchange, right? Ring the bell ceremony, closing, and all the contribution from this auction goes to the Force for Good, right, to help a lot of unfortunate people, right, in the whole world, right? In fact, I don't know, right? I think for a lot of business people, right, to be able to ring the bell in New York Stock Exchange is really something big. Right? It's really exciting, and because by partnering with New Skin, I have actually opportunity, right, to represent New Skin, right, to ring the bell in the NYSE, this New York Stock Exchange. In fact, I was supposed to go in May, but looking at the current situation, right, probably we need to postpone. But I'm looking forward, right, we will still go, right, and I hope to be able to share with you. Right, the next time when I visited, the kind of feeling, I feel so excited about the whole thing, but I hope that I can share more when I actually traveled, there. Well, I love this photo a lot, right? This was actually in our US Global Convention in a VIP room that we have. It's almost like 70 packs in the grandstand. I was actually enjoying myself together with many of our partners, our entrepreneurs, right? And while we are talking about charity, doing some charity works, and I love this photo because the outfit is very, very beautiful, right? And the stage, look at the stage, right? And I was thinking, right, if I was not doing this skin business, right, I don't think that I would dress in such way. if a traditional businessman. So this is kind of like different kind of work lifestyle. While we are enjoying in the VVIP room, at the same time, you realize that the show, the concert, right, put out by the company, the superstar, some of the superstar. In fact, we invited Gwen Stefani for the concert. So these are the kind of experience I think if I'm not for doing this kid, I probably would not, have this kind of opportunity. And after which we went to Sedona, right, together with some of our leaders, right, and we all know that this is the place for it's a spiritual place, right. If you are lucky, right, you could potentially see alien. Yeah, actually we have experienced to see the UFO. So these are all the beautiful places. But more important thing is the people that we are together, right? Like I mentioned to you, I have more friends after I'm getting involved in this platform. So straight after US came back and we have our own global convention, SCWW convention, our Stress Together convention. And these are the group photo we took there with some of our million dollar earners, right? And when I look at these photos, look at every one of them, right? They become prettier, they become younger, they become, better, right? I feel so fulfilled, and we did it every year, right? In fact, I love the feeling about, being, not only becomes successful, right? But success together, the feeling of togetherness. I think this is something that's so wonderful. In fact, a lot of business people realize that we can make a lot of money, but success can be very lonely, right? Very lonely. But today you realize that through the New Skin platform, we gather so many talents together, right? And all these people become our brothers and sisters, right? Like our comrades, the kind of brotherhood that we experience. I think this is something that money cannot buy, right? I know that money is very important, but there are a lot of other things, intangible things that is more important than money, like brotherhood, friendship, true friendship, real friendship, right? Comradeship, right? So these are the things that I find, right? Possibly if I'm doing other business, I will not have this kind of experience. I think the most important things also during this crisis, right? I begin to start to think, what if I do not make a decision 20 years ago to do New Skin? What will happen to myself in this crisis? And also, if you look at many of our partners, right, earlier on, and you look at every one of them, right? In fact, you have an opportunity to see every one of them. They get younger, prettier, more handsome, of course, more well-to-do, right? And more successful. But in fact, you realize that I was just thinking, right, out loud, if 19 years ago, if I do not make the decision to build a New Skin business, first, what will happen to me? Well, I think I'll become older. And also, I probably didn't take any health supplement for the last 19 years because I don't have the kind of awareness. Who knows? Right? Something happened to me to my health, right? And not only myself, right? I started to think, right? Because of my decision, right? When I choose at the beginning, right? I choose a different outcome. We have somehow realized that impacted a lot of life, right? I begin to think, what will happen to all these business partners if I do not make the decision then to start a New Skin journey? Many of these people probably they will just remain as an accountant, engineer, employee, and some of them they may lose their job, some of them lose their health, right? Some of them realize that they lose the business, and some of them probably they got bankrupt, right? So this was a very likely situation in this crisis if I did not make the decision. So this is why that I find that, right, when we choose a beginning, right, we have actually chosen the outcome that we want, and these are all beautiful outcomes, right? And this is the outcome you realize that every one of us want, right? Last but not least, right, I really want to extend my invitation to all of you over here, right, to our ST family. I really welcome you. I hope that COVID virus will go away in the near future, and we still hope to be able to have a gathering and a reunion in our STW Global Convention in end of the year in November, right? And then over here, right, I hope that I can meet you physically. At the same time, we can celebrate our success together, right? At the same time, can witness the future, right? And I really hope that, right, this is is a chance for us to interact with each other, right? And I hope that every one of us who are online, right, able to be understanding the values of the business so that you can embark a totally different journey altogether. So with that, I want to close my sharing for today. My name is Rayne and I'm a friend. Thank you very much.
Thank you, our Circle of Excellence, for Mr. Rayne for his sharing. And really, like what he said, actually, our decision now will impact us in the next 5 to 10 years, or even in the face of a crisis like what we are experiencing now. So, really, today we just have to decide for ourselves. Today, are we looking for a long term income, or for a one-time income or a lifetime income? And how are we going to emerge triumphant in the face of this pandemic, and what kind of life do we want to give to our family members? So, really, we look forward to seeing all of you in our ST Global Convention in this November. And thank you once again for dialing in tonight. My name is Charlene. Good night.